I never thought he'd end up doing what he did.
A mass shooting plot is foiled tonight, and a Plano ISD student is behind bars. What authorities are revealing about his chilling plan.
And another scare in the sky for Southwest Airlines, how the crew responded after a window broke in flight. First tonight, he said he wanted to conduct a terrorist attack against the United States, and the target, Stonebriar Centre in Frisco.
We have team coverage tonight. We've got J.D. Miles and also investigative reporter Brian New on this story. We're going to start, J.D., with you live in Frisco. Talk to us about how police stopped the ISIS-inspired plan as they've described it.
Doug, in the arrest affidavit, the teenage terror suspect calls Stonebriar Mall here behind me the biggest attraction in his city. We know most of the details of the plot, but the one looming question is what could have fueled what seemed to be a normal teenager's hate? Before he was pulled from class and arrested at Plano West Senior High School, Matin Azizi was described as a normal but quiet classmate.
Yeah, he sat in front of me in 6th period in my business information management class. He was a pretty quiet kid. He seemed like a pretty good kid. Like, I would have not suspected a thing, to be honest. He seemed just like any other regular kid that just came to school and just minded his business. But then you never know, because he ended up being a part of ISIS.
Yeah, because I used to sit by him and like he used to help me on my work.
But authorities say during the last 5 months Azizi was sitting in classes here, he was also communicating online with someone he thought was a member of ISIS, sharing photos of books and pics of Stonebriar Mall in Frisco, which he wanted to target for a mass shooting terror attack during the Islamic holiday of Ramadan to, quote, limit Muslim casualties.
Looking at the affidavit, this could have easily happened, could have caused quite a bit of damage if he had gone through with his plan.
Former prosecutor Toby Shook says details of the affidavit, which include Azizi's orders to purchase $1,400 worth of firearms, as well as online messages threatening to spray down a big crowd of people, and a scouting trip to the mall with the undercover agent, are signs that prosecutors have a solid case.
As soon as they have sufficient evidence to make a case on a serious offense, they're going to make an arrest.
No one answered the door at the Plano home of the teenage suspect's parents. Plano ISD sent a letter to parents of its students, reassuring them that Plano West was never a target.
It's pretty crazy knowing someone in your school has done something this bad. It's pretty crazy.
Azizi remains jailed with a bond of $3 million. Usually terrorism charges are federal cases, but because the suspect is 17, he would have to be prosecuted as a juvenile under federal law. Under state law, he's an adult and could face life in prison. Live in Frisco, J.D. Miles, CBS 11 News.
J.D., thanks so much. So from J.D., our team coverage will continue now. We've got investigative reporter Brian New live for us, CBS 11 Tower in Dallas. Brian, I understand you've got some new information now about what the Plano teenager is accused of sending in the months apparently that led up to his arrest. What do you have?
Yeah, Doug, former U.S. Attorney Matt Orwig, who's handled several of these cases, said that you never know for sure if someone's going to carry through with their terroristic plot, but said this one seemed real.
2 weeks ago, according to an arrest affidavit, Matin Azizi sent this YouTube video to an undercover FBI employee as an example of the guns he wanted. About the same time, Azizi was scouting the Stonebriar Mall in Frisco. It would be here where he planned to carry out an ISIS-inspired mass shooting. So how did this suburban teen get here when just last summer, this is the type of video Azizi was posting online? A cartoon about his life, sister, and the family cat. Former U.S. Attorney Matt Orwig says lone wolves are often hard to detect.
How difficult is this to catch?
It's very difficult, and law enforcement did a fantastic job here.
By mid-December, Azizi was unknowingly communicating online with an FBI confidential informant, sharing this image entitled Brief Guide to the Islamic State. The conversations would continue as Azizi developed his deadly plot and tried recruiting others to join. At one point, according to the arrest affidavit, Azizi even met the FBI informant in person at a Frisco hotel and mailed $1,400 to buy weapons and tactical gear. Orwig says by using social media, within months, Azizi was able to go from someone simply with a desire to help ISIS to someone with a detailed terrorism plot.
Development of communications and social media planning is accelerated. It doesn't take as many resources, and it doesn't take as much time.
Now, the teen's grandparents told CBS 11 News this evening that they were unaware of their grandson having any radical religious beliefs. A spokesperson for the Islamic Association of Collin County cautioned folks that ISIS does not represent the Islamic faith. With the I-Team, Brian New, CBS 11 News.